Hello, everybody. Good morning here from Plymouth in the southwest of England. Maybe good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for joining this webinar on nursing and midwifery opportunities, both through the University of Plymouth International College and the degree programs here at the University of Plymouth. So we'll start with some introductions. First of all, of my UPIC colleagues, if I may. Matthias, would you like to start and then pass on?
Thanks very much, Tim. My name is Matthias Schurke. I'm the College Director and Principal for UPIC, and I will pass you over to my colleague, Izzy. Izzy, over to you. Okay, let's go over to Dave instead. Dave, over to you. Dave, you're on mute.
My name is Dave Jones. I'm the Director of Academic and Student Services here at UPIC, and I'll try Izzy again.
Izzy's being elusive this morning, isn't she? Okay, let's move on to our university colleagues, if we may. I can see Daniela. Would you like to start and then hand on?
Is that me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everybody. My name's Daniela. I'm one of the lecturers here at the University of Plymouth in adult nursing, and I'm an adult nurse, so I'm also a registered nurse. I'm also deputy admissions tutor for the BSc programme in adult nursing.
Great stuff. Thank you, Daniela. Do we have other university colleagues with us?
Good morning. Can you hear me? I'm struggling to hear anyone except for yourself, Tim.
Oh, we can hear you, Charlotte.
Lovely. Yes, so my name's Charlotte Nolan. I am one of the midwifery lecturers and the admissions tutor for midwifery as well. So nice to be here, but I'll be fiddling with my sound a bit because you're the only person I can hear, Tim. So apologies to everyone else.
I can hear you loud and clear. I hope everyone else can.
Right. I can't. I'm not sure. Can everybody else hear? Maybe it's just me then. Just checking. Okay, I can hear a thing.
Yeah, I can hear everybody.
I can hear you, Izzy. Okay, let's push on. So you can see on the screen there, we have a list of topics for the webinar this morning. So we've done some introductions. The purpose of this is to describe to you the range of nursing programs available at the University of Plymouth and the University of Plymouth International College pathway route into those nursing degrees, so our foundation program as well. So we'll go through all of the different nursing programs. We'll describe our facilities to you, including the still quite new in-city place building. We'll describe how UPIC works, how our students are supported by the Student Experience team, led by Dave, our Director of Academic and Student Affairs. We'll tell you about our accommodation offer, about how to reach Plymouth, airport pickup, things like that. We'll go through our important dates, and important to note that the next intake to UPIC is in May. So students who join us in May would move on to the related university degree programme the following September. So that's what, 15, 16 months later. It's a three semester foundation programme. So this next May opportunity is an opportunity for an early start. So we'll go through the important dates, describe our social media channels to you. We'll go through some frequently asked questions, but we'll also make sure that you have quite enough time to ask questions as we're going along. Feel free to use the chat, or we'll leave time at the end for any other questions that we may not have covered. So moving on to the degree programs. Daniela, Charlotte, can I leave this with you to talk to your respective areas of expertise?
Yes, absolutely. Charlotte, shall we do this together, or do you want me to just start with the nursing and then you do the midwifery? Okay, so the BSc nursing programme is a 3-year programme, and it's registered with the NMC, the Nursing and Midwifery Council, who are our governing and regulatory body. So it's a 3-year programme, and we have 3 branches, 3 fields of nursing. So we have adults, child and mental health. And there's also opportunity for postgraduate courses where it's a 2-year programme where you could obtain a master's in nursing as well. It's a 3-year programme which is a mix of theory and practice, so it's 50% of each, and you're very much supported in both those areas. So it's in terms of theory, we start the first year talking about communication and accountability, and anatomy and physiology, and really preparing you for that professional registration and what that means. In the second year, we look at pathophysiology and medication, pharmacology, and there's clinical skills training as well, in the first year too. And in the third year, we go more field specific. So the first and second year, all the fields are together. So you get to have experience of mental health and child input as well throughout the first 2 years. In the third year, you'll have your field specific modules, which may well be leadership, critical care, or primary care, depending on your field. There are 2 placements a year, and those also come with their own assessments. And you're very much supported in practice, but I think there's some slides coming up with practice related information. So yes, it's a 3-year programme which will prepare you for NMC, nursing and midwifery registration. Charlotte, over to you.
You're happy for me to pop in?
Yes,
so
please.
Midwifery, excuse me, midwifery is also a 3-year degree course. We do offer some sort of alternative modes of study. Generally, with our international applicants, you will be what we call campus-based. And it's slightly different to nursing in that we spend usually around 4 to 6 weeks where you are in studying, doing the academic theory side of the course, and then you go out to placement and you will be out working in one of the local hospitals or out in the community, in local birth centres, working alongside a midwife, just doing the roles, all those responsibilities of a midwife, and actually out there doing the job. Our course is very much a 50-50 split across all 3 year groups. So there's a lot of similarities with nursing, but our placements are slightly different, but 50-50. So that's really nice. It's a really good way to learn because you have that theory and then you're also putting it into practice. And so you're hands-on learning on the job. So again, very similar to nursing. And that really supports the way that you learn best, and being able to actually apply your skills and use them. That builds your knowledge, builds your confidence. Again, we are accredited by the Nursing and Midwifery Council. So when you complete your training, you will go on and be registered and have a NMC PIN number, which means obviously you can practice as a midwife. Across the 3 years, you have to meet certain requirements in practice, so standards to ensure that you are learning everything you need to be and meeting everything that you need to do to complete and progress on the programme. Every year you complete a research module, and by the end of your 3 years, you will be completing a piece of research of your own choosing. Across the 3 years, there's a variation of public health, communication, and a lot of hands-on skills teaching. And as Tim said before, we have our brilliant intercity place and brand new skills labs where we can use the simulation mannequins, the models, to really put everything into practice before you go out and have to do it in real life. And we have lots of fun sort of pretending to catch babies and have lots of births, and including, some of us wearing mannequins and things. So we have lots of fun on those days, but it's a really good way to learn. And also using intercity place, which I'm sure we'll touch on again, we have opportunity to work across disciplines. So working with our paramedic colleagues and learning from each other and learning together as well. So yeah, a lot of fun, but of course a qualification at the end that you can go straight into working with, straight into a job role, essentially. Tim, anything
Great.
else you want me to cover at the minute? Are you happy?
No, that's good, thank you. So we've
Lovely,
touched
thank
on
you.
how it kind of that 50% mix between theory and placement. So we've got just a little bit more. I don't know if there's more, Daniela, Charlotte, you'd like to say about the placements.
Yeah. So the placements, you know, what we deliver in the theory is really in our theory modules, you know, which have their own assessments associated with them. But what we're teaching you at university is really to prepare you to be able to put that into practice, and really consolidate, really learn those nursing skills and consolidate what we teach you in theory. So our placements are, the aim of our placements is to provide you with to provide our students with a wealth of experience and a breadth of knowledge. So there's a variety of placements that, as a mental health nurse or a child nurse or an adult nurse, that you could experience. And we're quite a reasonably large area. So we have quite a large catchment area, and the purpose of that is to be able to provide you with the best experience that you can possibly have. So you can see on this slide, there is a huge variety of placements that you will be offered. So they could be in acute care, medical wards, surgical wards, intensive care areas, theatres, endoscopy, lots of acute critical areas. Or there could be more non-acutes and in the community. So we could place students in health visiting, school nursing, nursing homes, prison nursing, GP surgeries, working in the district, in the community. So there's a huge variety of placements. There'll be 2 placements a year, so 6 placements altogether, which will really prepare you for that registration. So everything that we teach you in theory will allow you, our placements will allow you to put that into practice, so that you can be as prepared as you possibly can be for registration with the NMC at the end of the programme. We'll teach you to be critical thinkers, to be able to make safe decisions and problem solve, with excellent communication and interpersonal skills. And that we really aim to achieve through the different types of teaching that we provide, whether that's in skills or in more sort of simulation or in theory with the different assessments, but also to consolidate those skills and that knowledge whilst you're in your placement, while the students are in their placement areas. The placements are really well supported by the practice development teams, which work within our local trusts, and they're there specifically to support our students in practice. And also our students will have support within their placement areas by practice assessors and practice supervisors. And they are registered nurses who will teach and assess and coach and support our students whilst they're in their placement areas. So there are assessments, practice-based assessments associated with our placements as well. And we've got really good links between the university and these placement areas. So we've got, like I said, we've got the practice development teams within the practice areas, and we have our placement teams within the university as well. And of course, as lecturers, we are also academic assessors. So those academic assessors will support the assessments that happen in practice. So we work really closely and have good lines of communication with our placement areas. So hopefully that means that the students do feel supported, and they have successful placements, and any problems that might arise in placements are quickly and swiftly resolved through good communication and good links between us and our practice partners. So it's, you know, hopefully well supported and effective in teaching our students to become really safe and knowledgeable practitioners as they approach their registration with the NMC.
Great stuff, thank you. Charlotte, is there anything more you would like to say on placements?
I can't hear what Daniela's saying. I'm sorry. I was trying to lip read and then I've just put the closed captions on so that I could pick up on the last little bit. So I've been there staring at you, Daniela. I'm so sorry. I was trying to practice lip reading, which I'm not very good at. I caught the end of it. The only thing to add, which I'm sorry if I'm repeating because I missed the beginning of what you said, is that we cover 7 trusts across the southwest, 7 hospitals. So from Truro in Cornwall all the way up to Taunton and Yeovil in Somerset. So if you're looking at the map, that's the sort of whole southwest area there. But with our international students, we try and keep you placed in Plymouth, unless you have any particular desire to go further afield, just simply because it saves expenses with travelling and things for you. It makes life a little bit easier if you're living in Plymouth and studying there at the local hospital too. And very similarly to what I caught the tail end of with Daniela saying about assessments in practice, you will always be working with somebody who is a qualified registered professional who is there to support you in your learning and complete any practice assessments with you. Equally, we work in and you're on the maternity wards, so you are there looking after people from very, very early in your training. So within a few weeks, you'll be out practicing and supporting people who are having their babies. And then again, working in community and, like I said earlier, birth centres. So there's a wide variety of placements, which keeps it interesting. And working with lots of other health professionals too. So learning from the multidisciplinary team, you have lots of exposure to that throughout your training, which again is very supportive. I don't want to risk doubling up on anything. So are you happy to move on, Tim?
Yeah, I think that's been entirely complimentary. Thank you both. The next slide, we've just tried to summarise, particularly in relation to adult health nursing, but I guess this applies equally to all areas of nursing, what you need and what you get out of being a nurse, the study and then the practice of nursing. Charlotte, Daniela, do you think this is a fair summary? So what you need as an individual, compassion, resilience, patience and commitment. Would you say those are the qualities which perhaps are most useful in nurse, as well as being able to do the academic side of the study and the learning?
Absolutely. And I just think if you have that also passion, and excitement to come and train to do this, if you're interested, we all know that if you're interested in something, it makes learning far easier. But I think that's a really good skill set there. But also to know that, when things are hard, there's a lot of support available as well. So although we talk about resilience and commitment and compassion, that's all very focused on you. But actually, we're all here to support you too. As personal tutors, you have sort of one-to-one support and lots of support at the university with the academic side of things, as well as in practice, supporting, discussing with you around things that you may have seen in practice, reflecting on what you've learnt, and how you're balancing work and study life, which can be challenging. And the university has lots of additional support as well when it comes to essay writing, all of those additional skills, as well as wellbeing support for you. So yes, these are great things that you need, but you're not on your own.
Daniela, anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely echo all of that. To be a nurse is to be working as part of a team, and you're never alone, despite what challenges you may face within your career, within the nursing career. I would like to just add on, absolutely the support and well-being support is very much available to our students. And what is, it's a hard course. It's not easy to be a midwife or a nurse, and to learn how to be a midwife or a nurse. It does require these skills of resilience and commitment and hard work. But I would just like to add onto that how I feel about nursing. So I've been a nurse for 25 years, and I've been a lecturer for the last 4 years, and I've loved both elements of my job, of my career. And it's more than just going to work. It's about being passionate about what you do. It's about feeling satisfied and rewarded. And it's interesting and it's diverse and it's rich. And the last line here that says there's over 100 nursing specialities to choose from is so true. Nursing is hugely diverse. There's a huge range of different roles within nursing, different types of nursing's available to our students as they progress into their careers. And that journey, that learning never stops. Nursing is it's more than a job. It's more than a career. It becomes intrinsic to who you are. And I think Charlotte's nodding there. I'm sure I'm not a midwife, but I'm sure it's very similar being a midwife. It's who you are. It makes up part of you. Of course, there's lots of other elements of us that are not, nurses or midwives. But it's such a huge part of who you are and who you become. It's so important. And I think as lecturers at the University of Plymouth, I think Charlotte's nodding as I was saying that, we all feel that. We are all committed and dedicated to our profession because it is intrinsically who we are.
Great stuff. Thank you. So would you say that's a fair summary of what you get from being a nurse? So work satisfaction, nurses get to make a difference in someone's life every day. And it's never dull. Every day is different. Loads of different professional development opportunities as well. So more than 100 different specialties to choose from. Is that a fair summary, Charlotte, Daniela?
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree with what Daniela was saying there. No day is dull at all. We're always on our toes. It's always exciting. And yeah, everyone that will teach you on this program, nursing and midwifery, we are nurses and midwives. It is who we are for sure. Yeah. But we've all worked in the job across all of the country, all of the world as well, some of us. And we all bring our experiences as well to support you, to help you to learn. And yeah, lots of fun stories to go alongside, the learning, things that we can share with you, tips and tricks, as well as just, sort of being able to reflect back. And we all love our job. We all love being nurses and midwives. Otherwise we wouldn't do it. Genuinely, when I say, I wouldn't teach anything else other than midwifery because I love being a midwife. And I'm so passionate about what we do and what we can share with you. And it's being able to share that opportunity with you. And these are skills that you can take across the world. You can take all over the world, and it's limitless, I think, whether you decide to progress into a speciality of nursing, a specific branch. You may train as a nurse and then in the future decide to come back and do a postgraduate version of midwifery with us and get a master's in midwifery and be dual qualified. That's another option to you in the future. Yeah, it's huge, and I personally think that's really exciting.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is really exciting. Charlotte just touched on something there that I just want to follow up actually. And our feedback, we get a lot of feedback from our students, and we seek that feedback because that's what we use to grow and develop and improve all the time. And one of the key themes that we receive from our students is that they really enjoy that when we apply our teaching to our experience. So we can very much talk about, keep maintaining patient confidentiality every time, but we very much talk about our careers and our experiences as nurses and midwives. And that really allows our students to engage in those conversations. It becomes interesting because it's applied to what they're learning and what they're doing in practice. And it allows us all to reflect and think critically really about the type of nurse that we want to be. And how we're going to get there. So that experiential learning is really important, and that application of our experience as lecturers and experienced nurses and midwives really supports our students' learning. And they always say that they enjoy those conversations.
Thank you both. It's great to hear your passion for what you do. It's really motivating. And if you come to study in Plymouth, you get to enjoy the fantastic intercity place. I'll pass back to my colleagues to talk about this facility more, but just it's important to point out that the building you can see in that picture top left is immediately above the railway station, which is just across the road from UPIC, from our college building, which is on the edge of the university campus, which is right in the city centre. So everything that we're talking about here is, as well as being a great facility, everything is fantastically conveniently co-located and very close to the city centre. And as we're in Plymouth, and it's a seaside city, it's just a 10-minute, 15-minute walk maybe from the building you can see there through the city centre to the waterfront. So it's a great place to live as well as a great place to study. But Charlotte, Daniela, more about Intercity Place.
I was just going to add that although it's right next to the train station, just to reassure you, we don't hear the trains at all. We're not affected by it when we're working in Intercity Place. We wouldn't notice. It's just very, very useful. And Tim, as you said, the waterfront's not far away. And if you wanted to explore further, the trains are so easy to get further into Cornwall, other beaches, you know, get out, adventure onto the moorland and the woods, the forest. So it is a fantastic place to live. Intercity Place, yeah, it's new. We've been working and delivering skills sessions there for a couple of years now. And it's was built, you know, it was improved for us essentially. So the midwives, we have one whole floor which is ours, and all our different equipment. It's not actually pictured in any of these, but then our other professions are on different levels. So as I was saying before, it's easy for us to tie in and work with the paramedics. There's a home setup, so it's a sort of, it looks like a flat or an apartment, so that we can practice facilitating home births there, or our occupational health colleagues, they also use that level for their own sort of practice and skill-based learning. Anything you want to add, Daniela?
Yeah, so just about the skills teaching that we do in Intercity Place. So I've been teaching clinical skills to our third year adult student nurses this week. And what Intercity Place has allowed is for this interprofessional learning to happen. And we've invited physiotherapy students into the clinical skills suites with our adult nurses. And what we're really doing is preparing our students to work multi-professionally with a multi-disciplinary team. So lots of different, because in practice, that's what we do. We work collaboratively with other health professions. So it just makes sense to introduce that early into our nurse training. So our third year adult student nurses this week have been working alongside physiotherapy students in our clinical skills suite, and the feedback has just been amazing. And just to observe our students and our student nurses and our student physios working together collaboratively and learning and sharing knowledge and supporting each other was just, you know, it was just so effective and so wonderful to observe. So Intercity Place has got really good facilities for teaching and simulating what happens in practice, and really providing that safe space for our students to learn and also work collaboratively with other students or other healthcare professions. So it's it's a really interesting place for our students to be, and it's lots of fun as well. So we always have good fun, and it's a safe space to learn, and it's a safe space to make mistakes too. So if our students perhaps made an error in simulation, we can fix that and prepare them for practice so that they feel more confident and they actually go out on their placements. So Intercity Place has really provided this excellent resource for simulation training and collaboration with other students from other healthcare courses.
Great, thank you. Just quickly to show everyone where the School of Nursing and Midwifery sits within the wider university structure. The university has 3 faculties, of which the Faculty of Health is one. There are 6 schools within that faculty. Those are the School of Health Professions, and Daniela mentioned physiotherapy, occupational therapy, for example, which are in that school. Then we have the School of Psychology, the Peninsula Medical School, the Peninsula Dental School, and the School of Biomedical Science. So it's a significant part of what the university does. One of 3 faculties with those 6 schools with a very wide range of specialisms and routes into a whole range of health professions within those schools. Dave, would you like to say a bit about the content of the UPIC Health and Human Sciences Foundation programme?
Yeah. So the Health and Human Sciences Foundation is a 3-semester course. The reason it's 3 semester is because we build in a lot of English language skills into that, and they're targeted towards healthcare and nursing. So you'll join us and you'll do study skills and you'll do ICT and you'll do English. In your 2nd semester, you'll go on to more academic modules like maths and physics and biology. And within that, depending on whether you join in May or join in September, we also do a module called Preparation for a Career in Healthcare, which will prepare you as an international student for what it's going to be like to work within the NHS. We do a lot of writing research. We do a lot of teaching you to be able to do professional presentations, all that kind of stuff which you're going to need when you go on and do your degrees. We generally find that students are successful on our courses, especially on the Health and Human Sciences Foundation, and the feedback we get from students is of very high quality. So yeah, I think it's an excellent course. We've been running it since 2017, so we are well practiced in doing this, and I would say 96-97% of our students over the last 7 or 8 years have progressed onto their degrees.
Thanks, Dave. Important to just emphasise that our next intake is in May, so students have a chance to join us very soon. That's less than 3 months away now. And when we make an offer to the UPIC Health and Human Sciences Foundation programme, that offer is for the whole programme. So it will be with the UPIC Foundation as the first element, the first of 4 years, in effect, of the programme, which leads to graduation from the relevant university degree. So progression from the foundation programme is guaranteed for students who are successful. There's one CAS, which the applicant can use to make an application for one visa, which covers them for the entire duration of study. So yeah, May start is the next one, and then again in September. The advantage of the May start is that our fee will increase very slightly in September, so starting in May would be an opportunity to enjoy the lower fee. Also, it's a 3-semester programme, so starting in May would mean that students have the opportunity for a semester gap before going on to the degree programme. Students who start in September on the 3-semester programme go straight into the degree after they've completed with UPIC. And Dave, it's all about student success, isn't it? You touched on that. We have very high progression and completion rates, but do you want to say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we have very high student success. We're currently tracking about 97% pass rate on all our modules. We have a plus 95% retention and progression into the university. So these students that go on to university degrees, the vast majority of them are absolutely going to get a degree and come out with a good degree. I'd also like to point out that in terms of student satisfaction, we have a 95% student satisfaction rating from our students, and in areas such as academic support, it's 99%. So if you come to UPIC, you're going to get a really, really, really good quality education and lots and lots of support from us.
Thanks, Dave. So those numbers that I've quoted there, the 85%, that's possibly a little bit modest now. We could say that's 90% and above progression from UPIC to the university, and more than 90% completion. I'll take that as agreement, Dave. Thank you. Back to you again, Dave, actually. As the director responsible for the student experience team, would you like to say a bit more about how we support our students and offer that kind of soft landing into UK higher education?
Yeah, so we understand that you've maybe not studied in the UK before, and everything may be a little bit different. So we give you that chance to grow with us before you go on to the university. We hold your hands slightly through the first semesters, making it harder as it goes along. So by the time you leave us and go to university, you're very much used to what it's going to be like. We make sure you understand that we do something called independent learning. Our teaching staff are very much on board with this. So when we give you something to do, you can go off and do it for yourself. But we'll show you how to do that. We'll show you how to reference. We'll show you how to avoid plagiarism. We'll show you how to do all these things. Our team downstairs, you can see Jake and Nisa there. Jake is in the stripy jumper. We have another member of staff coming in to join us as well. They're all very welcoming. They're all very helpful. If you need anything, it's literally you go and ask them, and we pride ourselves in getting back to you very, very quickly and sorting out any issues that you have. I oversee the team. You're always welcome to come and have a chat with me about any issues you want, and we're always happy to help you in whatever you need.
Thanks, Dave. It's a big step up, isn't it, from high school to university level study? I think for any student, whether that's a UK student coming from school to university, and especially for international students where the style of teaching and learning may have been slightly different or perhaps very different in their home country. So actually, the UPIC Foundation program is something that students of all nationalities might benefit from, but particularly international students, and it's supported by our student experience team as well. So accommodation and how to book. Well, this is actually a big advantage of Plymouth as a student city. I mentioned before that we are a city centre, college and university, and all of the accommodation is typically very close to the college and the university, so maybe 5 or 10 minutes walk. So very convenient student city, and also very cost effective. So our accommodation starts at around £100 a week. If you're looking at some of the big cities in the UK, London or Birmingham or Manchester, you could be looking at 2 or even 3 times that weekly accommodation cost. So very cost effective. Also, Plymouth is one of the top 15 safest UK cities, according to official government data. So, no, we'd never guarantee anyone's safety, but relatively, it's a very safe city to live in the UK. As long as those benefits of having a waterfront location and some great scenery, some great places to visit all around us. We have a close working relationship as UPIC with a company called Clever Student Lets. You don't have to use them for accommodation bookings, but they are very familiar with working with us. They charge students only for the weeks that they use. They're very flexible on contracts and on moving in dates. They'll provide moving in support as well, even a complimentary bedding pack for every student. So accommodation is a big strength of what we can offer here in Plymouth. And for students coming into UPIC, there's an online accommodation form on our website, on the top right of the website. Very easy to click on and follow, and to book accommodation in that way. Traveling to Plymouth, we're very clear that we are not a London location, but there are big advantages of not being in London. Lots of things we've talked about before: cost, convenience, safety, clean air. It's a very healthy environment, being by the sea, being next to some great countryside. So, but absolutely not a London environment, not a big city environment, but an internationally very diverse city for its size. So we have a big university, obviously, in Plymouth, and we have a big hospital which serves the region. And both of those institutions have lots of international staff and international students as well in the university. So it's amazing what you can find in Plymouth. Food from all around the world, just in our market, we have, what do we have? Syrian, we have Thai, we have Vietnamese, we have all kinds of different food available, and international food supermarkets as well. Not London, but not so hard to get here either. We're about 3.5 hours away by train from London. That would be the most expensive way of getting here. You can come by coach, would take a little bit longer, or UPIC also offers an airport pickup service. Again, you can book that through our website. But one thing we would say to all students is, whatever you do, don't arrive at the airport and think you can just get in a taxi and ask the driver to bring you to Plymouth. They'll be very happy to do that, but that would cost you a huge amount of money. So just make sure, I think, ideally to pre-book before you leave home. So traveling to Plymouth, there we go. That's more about our airport pickup service. As I mentioned, there's a booking form on our website. The cost is around £255, but students can book that to share with other students as well. So obviously share that cost. We're very active on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, on YouTube, LinkedIn as well. So you can follow us all of the time. After the webinar, go and have a look at some of our social media, and that will show you some of the latest things that our students are up to. We always in UPIC have a busy sort of social calendar. I think, Dave, the next thing we're doing is taking our students skiing, isn't it?
Yes, we're taking them to the ski slope. I believe it's tobogganing, and there's a rubber ring that goes down the ski slope that we're taking them on in a couple of weeks.
But don't be afraid that the mention of ski slope means cold weather. It is an artificial ski slope. We've hardly had a frost this winter in Plymouth, to be honest. No snow, I don't think. A lot of rain, more usually than we would have in an English winter. But things are getting brighter all the time. The flowers are starting to come out. We're getting more hours of daylight every day. So we're all looking forward to the spring and the summer now. So enough on our social media. We'll just move on now. We're getting close to the end. So we'll just go through some frequently asked questions. We know these are asked often, but if your question isn't covered here, then do please feel free. We'll leave time at the end or use the chat if you still have questions. But Dave, is there an option to study online?
No, unfortunately. All study for international students in the UK need to be done face to face. So all your classes will be in a classroom.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. So we did have a hybrid teaching model during COVID, during lockdowns, but now everything exactly is back to full-time on campus. Matthias, can I live anywhere in the UK?
It needs to be within easy commuting distance, and Plymouth's a great city to live in anyway. So nearly all of our students live in the locality of Plymouth and just walk to the campus. And as you said, Tim, it's mostly great weather here. We don't get really cold down here like other parts of the UK. So it's a nice old journey, but easy commuting distance to the campus is the rule.
Yeah, our classes can start at 9 o'clock in the morning. The latest finish might be 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So as Matthias says, we just ask that you live somewhere where you can comfortably and safely reach us before 9, where you can comfortably and safely get home after 5. I'll ask myself if I can apply for my grades at slightly lower than is required. Yes, we do try to be flexible around applications. So you can see our entry requirements by country on our website, but those are more guidelines than absolute requirements. So we sometimes see sort of variable grade profiles in the student's application. But if the stronger grades are in more relevant subjects, for example, so for nursing, we might be looking more at maths than at science subjects, then that would count in an applicant's favour. Also, we can take some work experience into account, or even experience of volunteering if that's relevant to the programme of study. So if an applicant doesn't quite have the grades that we specify, then please do feel free to reach out to us, and we'll look at the whole application and we'll do whatever we can to help. Similarly with study gaps and visa refusals, sometimes actually we prefer to see an application from a more mature student, because they may have used that time since their last formal education to actually enhance their CV, to do something that they know is relevant to what they now want to go on and study. So absolutely, we'll look at applications from people with study gaps. Really what we need to see there is a full, detailed and up-to-date CV, so that we can see everything that an applicant has done that may make their application stronger. Similarly with visa refusals, we're seeing a lot of visa refusals now from the USA, from Canada, from Australia, and it's kind of clear, and I'm sure you may have had some experience of this, that those refusals are being used as a mechanism to control numbers of people entering countries. So yes, unless there is anything particularly alarming in a visa refusal, then absolutely, from another country, then absolutely we're happy to consider that. I think that's it for our frequently asked questions. So I should have done this earlier, but let me pause now and invite you to ask any questions you may have that haven't been answered so far. And Charlotte, Daniela, is there anything you would like to add that we haven't covered so far?
I'm going to be terrible, and I was just typing to send my apologies. I'm going to have to run, but are you happy for me to share my email in the chat there?
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
Please do. Good luck with your applications. Enjoy whatever you choose to do. I'm going to pop my email into the chat here, and reach out to UPIC, and they can come to me or contact me directly, and I will happily answer anything directly about midwifery. But good luck and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thanks,
so sorry to shoot.
Favour, I think you raised your hand. Do you have a question? Favour, what would you like to ask?
Yes, I do. Yes. Thank you for the session. It was lovely, right? Lots of emphasis on the outlook of Piedmont, right? So I have an applicant that wants to study health-related course, particularly nursing. But the thing is that she doesn't have a bachelor. This is going to be a master's program. I don't know if master's program is applicable in our discussion here.
UPIC doesn't have a foundation route into the postgraduate programs, but the university does have master's programs. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this question should not be channeled to you, or
you're welcome to ask it. We'll see if we can answer it. If we don't have the expertise to answer it, then we're very happy to take it away and come back to you with an answer afterwards.
Okay, so BSc, forgive me for interrupting. She has a BSc.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Forgive me, my network is horrible. Right. So she has a BSc in management, right? And over the course of 2 years, I've gotten experience, right, certifications from different organizations in health. She's passionate about studying nursing or public health, right?
Okay.
And how does she make this jump? How does she make this jump to have a master's maybe in nursing?
So she's got a previous BSc, and she's got 2 years experience in healthcare?
Yes, 2 years
okay.
experience.
When was her BSc? When did she take her BSc, complete her BSc?
BSc was... Right, just give me a minute. Let me... I think she finished about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, she sounds like a good candidate for the MSc program.
Even if the BSc, if the bachelor's was not in nursing,
though? Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So it's evidence of that previous degree level study.
Yep.
Sorry?
I think it was just like freezing. I'm trying to reply.
Yeah, well, she had a 2-2.
She had a 2-2. That's okay. So it doesn't matter on the degree, because that's evidence of being able to study at the correct academic level. And she has 2 years, so she needs a minimum of 750 hours of experience in healthcare. And of course, she'll have to have an interview with us, probably me, if it's adults, or Gosha, who's the other adult BSc and MSc admissions tutor. So it'll be an interview with one of us. But yes, she can. She needs to apply through UCAS. It sounds like she'd be a good candidate.
Through UCAS.
Through UCAS, yeah.
Okay. All right, but how do I keep in touch with you? Is it possible I get an email or something?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put it in the chat now.
All right.
But keep in touch. Yeah, definitely.
All right. All right, so I'll send an email immediately, forwarding our document. And
yeah. And of course she can look
hopefully we take it up from there.
So also she can look at the university website for the nursing courses. So if you look at the University of Plymouth, just in Google, put University of Plymouth nursing, and then it will take you to the web page, and there'll be a link there on the MSc program and the criteria and how to apply. So I mean, I could put that in the chat as well. But yeah, okay. I would encourage an application from them.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
No, you're very welcome.
All right.
Thank you. So we have a question in the chat about financial support. So for any applicant to make a successful student visa application, they will have to show that they have sufficient funds and that they have had sufficient funds in a bank account of their own or possibly a parent's bank account for 30 days before the application is made. So they need to be able to demonstrate sufficient funding to pay the tuition fees in full and to meet their living costs. We do have some limited financial support available. So for the UPIC Foundation Programme, starting in May, there may be scholarships available up to £2,000. So £2,000 is not an insignificant amount, but it clearly does leave a significant balance that the student will have to pay themselves. The University of Plymouth is also offering progression awards, Welcome to Plymouth awards at the moment. So those can be up to £4,000 for students who progress from UPIC to the university. And that award is made automatically if a student achieves 70% and above in their academic grades at UPIC and 85% or above in their attendance. So there is some financial support available, but it is predicated on the student being able to provide the right financial evidence in advance of their visa application. Do we have any more questions? Favor, you have your hand raised, but I don't know if that's still from before or if you have a new question.
It's a new question, right? So
it's a new question. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is, right? As regarding the fees, right, for what I discussed about initially, what is the range? What are we looking at?
I'll let Daniela answer for the university, but they'll all be in a similar range. So our Health and Human Sciences Foundation program will be 18,950 from next September. Is currently 17,950 for May entrance.
Okay.
So on the link that I've put in the chats, there's a whole section on fees, and I'm just having a look to see if it shows it for international fees. I think it does. But have a look at the website. But yeah, I think it's about 8. I mean, exactly what Tim just said.
It'll be very similar to the UPIC fee.
Oh, here we are. 20,150. That's next year's. Yeah, that's from September.
Right, but we're looking at.
Sorry.
Because we're looking at applying, right, for spring this May. It's possible to get that.
That fee is 17,950.
Admission offer.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. If you want to submit an application, Favor, just go to our website. You'll see that there's an apply button top right on the home page, and you can just enter there and submit the application. We have pretty good turnaround times at the moment, so a complete application, we can normally issue an offer within 48 hours. It may be even quicker than that. And as I said before, an offer for a UPIC foundation will be an offer for the whole program, so the foundation and the degree program that follows. So a student will be able to make an application for one single visa. So no need to return home after the foundation program. You can just stay here and progress automatically to the university if the foundation program is completed successfully.
All right, thank you.
Any more questions before we leave you?
There's one.
I'd show funds combined. No. So the funds that you would have to demonstrate would be just for the first year of study. So it'd be sufficient funds in the student's own account or possibly in a parent's account to cover the first year's tuition fees and the first year's living costs as well. So in total, it's going to be, what would it be? Getting towards £30,000. Go on, Izzy.
Yeah, so for the first year, so say you have to pay 50% of your deposit to guarantee your place. So say your course, for instance, is £20,000, so you pay £10,000 deposit, so that means that you have £10,000 left to pay, and then the UKVI require you to pay, I think, £10,539 maintenance, show maintenance in your account. So it's generally around £15,000 that students need to show in their account for the 28 days. But obviously it depends exactly how much the student has paid to us. And keep in mind that we can't take off any accommodation fees or any insurance that they pay. We can't counteract that with their bank statement. So that's completely separate. So sorry, hopefully that wasn't too confusing, but it's whatever the course fee is, minus the deposit you have to show, plus the maintenance, which is £10,539.
Thanks, Izzy. Any scholarships awarded on merit? No, not at the moment. The university did have a Vice-Chancellor's Academic Excellence Award, which actually isn't running for this September, but they may return to that from the following September. That's still under review. But no, there isn't a merit-based scholarship scheme, I'm afraid. Okay, so I think that's covered all of the questions. Daniela, thank you very much for your input from the university's perspective.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was lovely to be invited and really nice opportunity to speak to everybody. I would just like to say we have the nursing school have a Instagram page. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, I did put it I did put it in the chat earlier on, but it's Punk at Plymouth. So it's Punk is PUNC. Plymouth University Nursing Community. So do follow us on Instagram because we show lots of what we do and lots of what our students do on there too. So please, thank you.
That's I love that. I love that acronym.
Punk, yeah, PUNC, Punk.
UPIC colleagues, anything you would like to add before we leave?
I think we've. Oh, sorry, Tim. I think we've covered everything, but we're just delighted to welcome some of you as we kind of progress on in our next intakes. It's a fantastic place. Students have a fantastic time. So look forward to seeing you there soon.
Great. Thank you, everybody. As soon as I have a link to the recording of this session, I will share it with you. If you have any other questions after we've finished, you can see my contact details there on the screen. Please feel free to reach out, and the contact details for our student experience and admissions teams as well. So just a final thank you to everyone who's contributed and to everybody who's joined, and thank you for your questions as well. And to echo Matthias's comment, we very much hope to have the opportunity to welcome you to Plymouth soon. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.